Man, perceiving himself as a unique creature in all of creation. For he's been led to believe that he alone has been given a mind to think, to invent, to create. In just this century, man's growing curiosity has led him to make more discoveries than ever before in history. He discovered the innermost secrets of nature. He desired to manipulate genetic code controlling human life, and did it. He pictured flight in his mind, and now walks on the moon. And now his curiosity has led him to explore the greatest mystery of all. His own mind, that very source from which all ideas, thoughts, behavior, desires, and creativity arises. The mind looking into itself. For the ancient mystics taught that hidden within the mind will be found the answer to all creation. But what has science found as it probes the mind? It has found that chemicals can alter the mind. When studying the mind, science has found one of the most mystifying phenomena yet, that man can be placed into a trance-like state called hypnosis. And while in the state is able to experience a world beyond reality, even making him seemingly able to transcend physical and mental limitations. Perhaps this hypnotic state is the door through which the answer to the mind's mysteries will be discovered. What you're about to see is based upon fact. Some will find it fascinating, and some may even find it frightening. So, with thanks to the scientific community, we now bring you Hypnosis and Beyond. Throughout history, it has been believed that certain individuals could influence others by the use of some undefined power, a power that could be used for good or evil. In ancient Egypt, over 5,000 years ago, records show that the priests knew techniques to induce sleep states, today called hypnosis, that would bring about miraculous cures. In the sleep temples, the priests would place the subject into a trance-like state. When they would awaken, they would be cured. This form of healing was known to be practiced by other cultures: Persians, Tibetans, Indian yogis, Chinese, American Indians. Even the royal courts of Europe knew of this power. But it was Franz Anton Mesmer, a Viennese physician of the 18th century, who brought this power to the attention of modern science. Franz Anton Mesmer believed there was a life force which could be channeled to cure sickness, and that he could transmit this energy to heal. It was to be called mesmerizing. Here the French nobility and others arrived and went to Mesmer to be treated. The atmosphere was almost theatrical, the lighting indirect, the carpets thick and lush, incense burned, soft music played. Mesmer appeared in long flowing robes, carrying a staff of iron. His patients were already gathered around an enormous wooden tub, projecting a number of iron rods which had been magnetized by Mesmer. Mesmer instructed his patients to take hold of the rods. Laying his hands on some, fixing his gaze on others, Mesmer circulated throughout the room until suddenly convulsive seizures would come over them. His patients would scream, moan, writhe, shriek, fall to the ground. Then, suddenly, and amazingly, they were cured. Unaware, Mesmer showed us not only the power of the mind over the body, but the limitless possibilities of suggestion. Other charismatic figures would discover for themselves the power to influence and control by using methods of mass suggestion. Adolf Hitler was perhaps the greatest orator of his time. He was somehow able to tap the emotional atmosphere of a crowd so that each person felt confidence, trust, and belief in him. And by the end of his speech, he so numbed the faculties of his listeners that they were prepared to believe and do almost anything he suggested.
Ihnen wird mehr gefordert als von den Millionen der übrigen Volksgenossen. Für sie genügt nicht die bloße Ablegung des Bekenntnisses, ich glaube, sondern der Schwur, ich kämpfe.
And we were to be strongly reminded again in 1978 of the power of persuasion by gaining people's confidence, trust, and belief. When Jim Jones of the People's Temple would influence and control those who followed him.
Please, for God's sake, let's get on with it. We've lived as no other people have lived and loved. We've had as much of this world as you're going to get. Let's just be done with it. Let's be done with the agony of it. Die with respect. Die with a degree of dignity. Lay down your life with dignity.
But what's the key to all this? Faith, trust, or the power of suggestion? Scientists have asked these questions from the beginning. Now, the power of suggestion is being studied in the laboratory.
These volunteer subjects are listening to a tape recording. This tape recording has been designed to induce hypnosis.
Relax all the muscles of your body.
The following audio portion of this program has been altered for the protection of the viewing audience.
Relax more and more. Please extend your left arm straight out in front of you, up in the air, and make a fist. Arm straight out in front of you. I want you to pay attention to this arm and imagine that it is becoming stiff. Stiffer and stiffer. Rigid. Like a bar of iron. Test how stiff and rigid it is. Try to bend it. Try. I am sure that you have paid so close attention to what we have been doing that you have not noticed the fly which has been buzzing about you. Buzzing annoyingly. Go ahead and get rid of it if you want to. It's gone, and you are no longer annoyed.
The story of the Manchurian Candidate fascinated many. The wartime drama of a man who committed murder while under the control of hypnotic suggestion. If you can control behavior with hypnosis, can you make a person perform an act against his conscious will?
More and more relaxed and comfortable. Now I'd like you to just watch here, and you'll see that a coin will be placed there. And I want you to pick it up and put it in this bag. That's right. There we go, and take it. There'll be a piece of chalk placed there. Pick it up and put it in this bag. That's right. And next will be a small, harmless snake. Pick it up behind the head. That's right. And put it in here. That's right. All the way, make sure it's in. That's right. And now there'll be a large snake, which you'll pick up behind the head. Behind the head. Quickly. Quickly. Let go. That's right. And your eyes are closing now, and you're sinking deeper. And as I ask you to open your eyes, you're going to be aware that there's a beaker in front of you. Do not touch the beaker. And there will be two other beakers all here. You look at them. It's all right to open your eyes now. You'll see the beakers. Now I want you to focus on this beaker, because shortly I'll ask you to do something. This beaker you want to be careful of because it is filled with acid. It is nitric acid. You've had chemistry, haven't you? And you know that nitric acid dissolves copper. I'm going to put a penny into the acid. Look what happens. Now I want you to reach in with your and pick up the penny out of the acid and put it into this beaker. Take it very quickly. Go ahead. Put it in. That's right. Just put your whole hand and close your eyes. Nothing else at all. Nothing else at all. Only my voice. Nothing else at all. That's right. But beside you, you'll be aware that there's a man who's been responsible for all of the nuisance today, all of the discomfort. And you're going to become more and more annoyed at him as you think about that. In fact, you're going to pick up the beaker and throw the contents right at him. You're going to take the beaker and you'll feel good doing that. All right, and you'll do it quickly. Open your eyes, you'll see the beaker in front of you. Pick it up and throw it at him. Throw it at him. That's it.
Subjects, while hypnotized, may seem to relive past lives or appear to join the world of the future.
1990, 2000, 2010, 2020, 2030. You can look into the future and see yourself. Okay, open your eyes now. All right, and your name?
Kelly.
Mm-hmm. And how old are you, Kelly?
See, I think I'm 20, 30, 70 years old.
70 years old? Uh-huh. And what do you do?
Well, I'm old and there's not much for me to do. There's all conveniences, so there's nothing really you can do. Everything's computerized.
Your house?
Yeah, totally.
Totally computerized? Uh-huh. You've got a very interesting watch there. Can you tell me about it?
Most people have these kind of watches. It just tells the time and the date and the temperature and tells your blood pressure, and it tells you if you need something, like if you're diabetic, tells you when you need your shots and stuff like that.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And blind people use them so for their sight they can detect where they're going.
And what are you doing? Where do you live?
I live on Earth still. There's not very many people left here, though.
Not very many people left?
No, they live in space colonies.
Many of the secrets of controlling one's mind were known in the past. Today, we are rediscovering those mysteries. And with that knowledge, applied by each of us, we can become impervious to the power of a Hitler or a Jones. For by using this power ourselves, no longer can others keep us from our destiny.